Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And to all my brothers out here preaching this truth to you, I say Shalom. This is Amatazar from the Chicago camp coming back at you again with another lesson entitled Stay in the Spirit. So the Apostle Paul admonishes us to stay in the Spirit, okay? When we stand in the Spirit, we're participating in camp and our readings and class and PODs and fellowship with one another. All these are meant to keep us in the Spirit. Now, what we call our personal character is the flesh. Some of us can be more carnal and fleshly than others. This is displayed in forms of jealousy and pettiness and arrogance and selfishness, to say the least. All right? So we need deliverance. So the point of all this is we got to stay in the Spirit. And we stay in the Spirit by doing those things that we just talked about, okay? Including fasting and praying as well. All right? So as we're staying in the Spirit, it's not yourself, okay? It's Yahweh Shai. All right. You stand in the Spirit, you're having the mind of Yahweh Shai, as opposed to your carnal nature. Anytime when you're outside of the Spirit, your carnal nature comes to the forefront. Okay. And that carnal nature shows itself, all right, in the form of selfishness and slothfulness and laziness and jealousy and, you know, a lot of bullshit, basically. Okay. So in this truth, we recognize those things. Okay. And we have to consider our brothers lest thou also be tempted. All right. But the reality is when you're not in the Spirit and you're not participating in these things of the Spirit, you have to understand that your carnality, that carnal side of you, all right, is rising to the top. Okay. This is Romans 7 and 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that do I. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Now, if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. I find then a law, that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of the Most High after the inward man, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? All right. And we need deliverance. Okay. If I didn't call that out, that's Romans 7:14 through 24. Okay. So the Apostle Paul is talking about the law of sin that works in his members. Okay. The things that he would not do, he find himself doing. That's why he's admonishing us to what? Stay in the Spirit. This is Romans 8 and 8. So then, they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. Okay. If you're in the flesh, you can't please the Heavenly Father because you're thinking with a carnal mind. This is Romans 8 and 1. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Yahushua, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For the law of the Spirit of life in Hamashiach, Yahushua, have made me free from the law of sin. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, the Most High sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh. All right. So, so, so Paul is saying, hey, there's no condemnation, all right, to them which are in Yahushua, who walk not after the flesh, right? They're not being carnal. They're being what? Spiritual. Okay? Being spiritual. All right? That goes back to the things that we talked about earlier. All right? Which I need to add up here. Fasting and praying as well, that needs to be in here. Camp, reading, class, PODs, fellowship. All right? The time that you do spend with the brothers. All right? This is Sirach 10 and 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Okay? And lastly, Proverbs 29 and 12. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. Okay? So the reason why I added those in here is because we need to be in the spirit all the time, okay, as much as possible. Because when we're not in the spirit, those personality characteristics, okay, the carnality, being a bitch ass nigga actually rises to the top, okay, whether you're in this truth, even when you're in this truth, okay, when you're carnal, all right, and you're not in the spirit, that those bitch ass tendencies are going to come up, all right, and you're going to see it, all right, and that's what makes this the straight gate, okay, all right. So the admonition, as always, is to stay in the spirit, okay. So I pray that this lesson was edifying. Until the next one, shalom.